Hello everyone and welcome to the Animezilla, and thank you for joining me as we talk about a possible playstyle for Mr. Goharp to use within Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. We hardly know anything about Mr. Gohar so far within the show, and that's okay. As of recording this video, we've only seen 5 episodes, so we're not going to know a whole lot about him. However, it's still fun to speculate as to whether or not he's going to be a serious villain or a goofy villain. And in this video, I'll be going over a playstyle that I think he could use if he was of the serious variety. So, for this video, we'll be looking at the type of playstyle, so the cards you could possibly use, as well as the fact that I'll be giving you a legend card that I think might fit this theme very nicely. And I'll also be doing a video as well, matching this video, where I talk about the goofy personality and what playstyle he could use then. So after you've watched this video, make sure you go and check that one out. And then you can let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below. But with all that out of the way, let's just look into what we do know about this character so far. So, he seems to be a very accomplished character. He has the city under a very watchful eye, and it's clear that the freedom in the city is very restricted, or for the most part, limited. Which leads me to the idea of a playstyle that he could use that basically restricts his opponent's playstyle. And I think that would fit the character very nicely. So for example, you could have something as to this. Now, I know I said this is serious, but like his ace monster looks really goofy. I'm not an artist, but just bear with me. So basically, you may think the idea of restricting movements and abilities and stuff is overpowered, but you could have it so where it's only his ace monster that has this ability, and it nullifies the opponent's effects, basically turning any card that comes against it into a vanilla card. So Seven Rose Magician won't be able to use his effect, thus he stays at his base power. I think that could be pretty interesting. If you have Mr. Gohar's ace monster be it say like a 3000 or something, then that gives our heroes a challenge. Because at the moment, the monsters that we've seen from Rook, Gakuto, Roman, and Yuga all rely on their abilities when they're on the offensive. So take them away, and we've got suddenly a nice challenging villain. So Seven Rose Magician, obviously he won't be able to use his effect, so that will hinder Yuga's ability to get his ace monster to a high enough attack point to destroy, obviously this ace monster. Primarina Katana wouldn't be able to power up her allies, so Roman would struggle in that respect. Dragiers, which is Rook's ace monster, wouldn't really struggle too much. It's just probably wouldn't be able to attack again when it destroys a monster. So I mean that could hinder him a little bit. Maybe if he's looking for a one-turn sweep or something, he won't be able to do that. And then Gakuto's ace would be the most unfazed. And the only good thing about this card is that obviously it doesn't rely on its ability. Yami Ruler does not rely on its effect in order to go on the offensive. It basically just stops and restricts your opponent from tribute summoning. So actually, if Gakuto got this card out first, he would have the most chance of beating this, because if we were looking at an ace card for Mr. Goharp, it would have to be a level 7 or higher, just to kind of balance it out and make it a bit more kind of difficult for him to get it out, thus making it a little bit more difficult. Now, when we look at legend cards, there is one card that fits this theme that I think they could bring back, and it would very nicely fit into place. And that card is, in fact, Jinzo. Jinzo is a card that basically stops your opponents and yourself from using trap cards. Once it hits the field, no trap cards can be used. And for some decks, this can be very damaging. But there's also an equip card that you can basically add on to Jinzo that allows yourself to use trap cards, but not your opponent. Now, that would obviously fit with the theme of A, being a challenge for our main heroes, and B, having the fact that Mr. Goharp creates the rules, and he's the one who can basically bend them to his advantage, so to speak. Now, the idea of shutting down your opponent's effects fits very nicely with Mr. Goharp's character, and the way that I kind of see that linking together is the fact that he's obviously shutting down all of the Rush Duel content that's being uploaded at the moment. In 5 episodes, we've seen it happen. His team are shutting down the videos left, right, and center. So, ultimately, this could be the reason for them dueling in the first place. Maybe Mr. Gohart is like, right, you kids have been a thorn in my side for too long now. It's time to put an end to you. And that's why they're dueling, to put an end to rush duels. This could, just saying, just an idea. Plus, it works well with the idea of breaking the old style. This being, the normal way of dueling with your 5 monster zones, 5 spell and trap zones, and basically clearing your own path with rush duels. And what I mean by this is more targeted towards our main heroes. Obviously, they're going to have to overcome this card that restricts everything. That's basically setting them onto one straight linear path of just being stuck where they are at the moment. So maybe I'm going a bit in depth on this, but let's move on. This is just one of my thoughts of what a type of playstyle this villain could go with in the anime if Mr. Gohart does in fact duel. I did kind of cross with the idea that maybe he won't be dueling, but I think they're setting him up to be a villain, and villains kind of have to duel, so that's why I'm doing this type of video. You might have a different idea, and if you do, that's perfectly fine. Let me know all your ideas for a serious Mr. Gohart playstyle down in the comment section below. I want to get that conversation going. I think it's an interesting discussion to be had. And however, if you are one of those people that are a believer of the fact that he's going to be a more comedic villain, then why not check out my other video where I go talk about his comedic, goofy playstyle that we could possibly have for this show. I thought that was pretty fun. It's been a lot of fun kind of looking into this one as well. But I don't know, I found the goofy side a bit more interesting to look at. So make sure you do pay that video a visit. But that's all for this video today. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new so you never miss a video from me. And until next time, I hope you have an amazing day. Alligator, matane, goodbye.